Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the broadcast. Well, I've got to say, we are inching towards World War III, unlike anything I have ever seen before. And quite frankly, I really believe that many in our leadership don't realize how close we truly are to all hell breaking out. If you look at history in the beginning of World War I and even in the beginning of World War II, at the time, they didn't even realize that they were in the start of war. And I really think that we could be seeing that. And I really see the United States, unfortunately, being involved in all of this. We've got war between Ukraine and Russia. We have Israel, Hamas, Iraq, Iran, United States of America, China. Everything is ramping up. And quite frankly, the hair is standing up on the back of my neck for everything that I've got to share with you today. Let's start first with how warships and troops are being deployed into the Middle East from both sides. China is deploying them as well as the United States of America. Take a look. This is on South China Morning Post, the CCP's main source there, their owned news source, but it's China PLA stationed up to 6 warships in the Middle East over the past week amid rising tensions from Israel-Gaza war, according to reports. Now, this was as of just a couple of days ago. You can see published October 19th, but because of what's going on, the escalation of war, we have China making it very clear what side they are on. And it's definitely not the side, I don't believe, of Israel and the United States of America. Then we also have Defense Secretary Austin talking about the deployment of troops and deploying troops. Take a look here. We have Breitbart News. Defense Secretary issues prepare to deploy orders for U.S. troops to the Middle East. Now, this was as of October 22nd, 2023, and it says, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin placed additional U.S. troops on prepare to deploy orders to the Middle East Sunday after speaking with Joe Biden. Quote, I have placed an additional number of forces on prepare to deploy orders as part of the prudent contingency planning to increase their readiness and availability to quickly respond as required, he said in a statement. But there's also this, according to a report, this is on the Gateway Pundit, over 12,000 U.S. troops aboard 10 warships advanced to the Middle East. And it says, amid the escalating tensions in the Middle East, over 12,000 personnel from the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps aboard 10 warships have either reached or are en route to the Eastern Mediterranean, as reported by Nikkei Asia, citing data from the United States Navy. On Saturday, Lloyd Austin announced a series of actions amid bolstering the United States military presence in the Middle East. And it goes on to say what has particularly been deployed, and it says the U.S. aircraft carrier Harold R. Ford has over 4,500 sailors on board, accompanied by 5 other ships carrying 1,600 additional service members. The aircraft carrier U.S. Dwight D. Eisenhower has 5,000 service members aboard, and 3 accompanying ships carry about 1,000 service members. So you can see here just a quick screenshot there of what is going on in the Eastern Mediterranean. Things are escalating. Then we also have this, and this is on the Western Journal, and this just came out recently, by the way, as of October 23rd, and it says Biden quietly sends 3-star general and other military officers to Israel, according to a report. And that is on the Western Journal. So we have ships coming in from China, over to the Middle East there. We also have the United States sending actual military men to the tune of 12,000 troops, either en route or already there, into the Middle East area as well. We have Biden sending our generals, our leading soldiers, and top military officials to Israel. This isn't good. I'm going to be really honest with you. And if you really and truly want to know what is going on, and I'm being very blunt with you, you need to sign up for restrictedrepublic.com. And because there's so much more that you are not being told about what is going on. And if you really want the truth and to dive in, use the coupon code Forever50 to get it for $50 per year. This is an amazing deal. And I'm going to do it for the next 48 hours. You can go ahead and use that code. But we put all our content on there, and in light of what is going on with the war, they're not being fully front. So get to restrictedrepublic.com and sign up today. With that, regarding what the United States is doing by sending and building up forces there in the Middle East, this is not only ticking off China, but Russia as well, again, further escalating us into World War III. And this is on zerohedge.com. Russia accuses the United States of stoking escalation by Middle East force buildup as Pentagon blames Iran, which I'm going to get into that in a moment. Here it is. Russia has weighed in strongly against the additional U.S. warships recently sent by the Pentagon to the Middle East region, saying this heightened U.S. presence only serves as a risk of escalation of the conflict in Gaza. Russia Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said Monday during a meeting to Iran that, quote, the more a state takes this kind of proactive measures, the greater the risk and the danger of an escalation of the conflict. He called out Washington as, quote, already among the countries intervening the most since the October 7th Hamas terror attack. And by the way, we are also accused of intervening the most between Russia and Ukraine. This is about to get out of hand, and I really do feel that. And here's just a little bit more tension with Iran, because now the White House is coming out and the Pentagon saying that Iran is actively involved in and facilitating attacks to our United States military bases there in Syria. Take a look here. This is on Reuters. White House says Iran actively facilitating some attacks on U.S. military bases. It goes on. The White House on Monday said Iran was in some cases actively facilitating rocket and drone attacks by Iranian-backed proxy groups on U.S. military bases in Iraq and Syria. And President Biden has directed the Department of Defense to brace for more and respond appropriately. So they're saying there's going to be more of that. White House spokesperson John Kirby said that there had been an uptick in such attacks over the last week and especially over the last few days, but the U.S. would not allow threats to its interest in the region to go unchallenged. In other words, the more they push, the more we're going to push back. He said that the United States believed these groups were supported by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the IRGC, and the Iranian government, which was also continuing to support the Hamas and Hezbollah militant groups. And by the way, I said this from the very beginning when those attacks from Hamas took place against the Israelites there, against Israel. I said there is no way they did this on their own. There has to be involvement from Iran. And this is exactly what we're seeing. But it goes on to state, we know that Iran is closely monitoring these events and in some cases actively facilitating these attacks and spurring on others who may want to exploit the conflict for their own good or for that of Iran, he said. Again, I honestly don't think that some in our United States government is really taking this threat serious, because if they were, like specifically the Biden administration, then they would do things like close our border and start really tracking what's going on. Because now we are getting warning after warning after warning telling us that it is very likely that terrorists are coming in at our border, and we could have sleeper cell situations right here in the United States of America and terrorist attacks again right here in the United States of America, because we've got some moron not vetting people coming in and allowing millions to come in with no questions. Here's an actual Custom Border Patrol memo that was just posted, right? And this is a huge warning for all of us. Fox News, CBP memo sounds the alarm on Hamas Hezbollah fighters potentially using our southern border to enter the U.S. The memo warns of a multiple terrorist group who may try to enter the United States of America. And you know what? They're absolutely right. We should take this threat seriously. And right now they're too busy playing politics and wokeism and trying to pit the right versus the left instead of seeing what the hell is going on in front of them with World War III. And here's the truth of the matter is, all of you listening out there, I know you guys are well aware that crap's about to hit the fan regarding the war. And unfortunately, there's many in America who are not listening to this program, who are not listening to other programs, who are really asleep at the wheel. And And I think now is the time to prepare. You need to make sure you have stuff in hand because God forbid some sleeper cell activates or what the hell ever. Please make sure you're prepared. Food, water, guns, ammo, these kinds of things, right? Because right now there are a lot of people saying, for example, Elon Musk is saying that we are sleepwalking into World War III. Here it is. This is on fortune.com. Elon Musk fears the West is foolishly sleepwalking our way into World War III and calls for an immediate ceasefire in Ukraine. He's not the only one. We also have statements coming from Mitch McConnell. Here we have Fox News. McConnell calls China, Russia, Iran the new axis of evil that the United States must deal with. And this is an emergency. I can't say I necessarily disagree with him on that. And then we also have this. Tucker Carlson did an interview with Colonel Douglas McGregor, a retired colonel there, and he said that Israel is a nuclear wild card on a dangerous road to Armageddon. That's from McGregor, and that is on Zero Hedge. And then, of course, we have the Pentagon warning of issues with Chinese military stock region. Pentagon warns Chinese military is a threat. It's a threat. So meanwhile, I don't know. All I know is we need to start taking this. We need to really evaluate what's happening in the United States. We need to start taking precautions at our border. We need to start taking precautions at home. So I wanted to get that all out to you with all the latest that is going on so you can be ready and you can be prepared. But with that, please get to Restricted Republic. It is one of the ways that we are able to stay here on air. We do live streams. Justice Night is on there, so I'm not the only one, and it's exclusive content. In fact, my husband is putting out a really huge report today, massive report on Obama, and new information that has just surfaced regarding the chef that had passed away. Turns out there's a lot more to the story, but if you want to check it out, get to restrictedrepublic.com now and subscribe. Use that coupon code FOREVER50 to get it for $50 per month. Again, that's for 48 hours, and the special will last through then. Anyhow, I love all of you. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven signing out.